So we're hoping to talk to someone and get, and we're asking people if they find something that they'd like to donate back, right? The Cobourg archives are at the Cobourg Library, and the archivist there was a great assistance to us. They were actually able to go back to the newspaper of the time in 1915, which was the Cobourg World. And this is a quote, I'll read you what was in the paper on September the 24th, 1915 in the Cobourg World. And this is regarding the sudden death of William Rourke. Our esteemed citizen, Mr. William Rourke, night watchman for the town of Cobourg, passed away without a moment's warning on Wednesday evening. His sudden death while in the discharge of his duties came as a great shock to our citizens, and the keenest regret is expressed on all sides by all. Mr. Rourke was usually well on Wednesday, and that evening was on duty as usual. About 9:20 p.m., he and Chief Roos received a call to go over to Albert Street and arrest a man named Samuel Todd, who had been creating a disturbance. Todd has a wooden leg and was drunk, so the two officers had to practically carry him from the street back to the town hall. When they arrived at the lockup, the prisoner woke up and upon realizing where he was going, put up a stout resistance. Mr. Rourke and Chief Roos got about halfway down the stairs when Mr. Roos noticed that the weight of the man that they were carrying swung around to the right and saw that Mr. Rourke had sat down on the step. Fred Watson was in the cell, and quickly fetching him, Chief Roos left him with Mr. Rourke, and thrusting the prisoner in the lockup, rushed to the police office and sent Mr. William Titford to Mr. Rourke's help. While the chief called the doctor, he found Dr. Ferris at once, and as soon as possible, the doctor was upon the scene. But Mr. Rourke was already dead. They placed him upon a stretcher and took him up to the office. Dr. Ferris broke the sad news to Mr. Rourke's family, and Mr. Nelson Tate, undertaker, was called to look after the remains. Coroner Ferris decided that an inquest was not necessary. As they went back to make the arrest, Mr. Rourke conversed cheerfully that he was wont with the chief and appeared to be in his usual health. Mr. Rourke was also a highly esteemed citizen, adaptable and obliging. He had very many friends, and the sudden passing has cast a deep gloom over the town and is deeply regretted by citizens generally. It seems impossible to believe that we shall not see his genial countenance upon our streets again. In his early manhood, Mr. Rourke was a sailor for some years. He was also a Fenian raid veteran. He had held the position of night watchman for a number of years and had served the town with much ability and faithfulness. Mr. Rourke's wife, formerly Miss Dodd, predeceased him by some years. He is survived by 3 sons, Frank, John, and William, and by 3 daughters, Mrs. Mamie, Ethel, and Ella Rourke, with whom much deep sympathy is felt with their sudden and deep affliction. So that is the story that was in the 1915 Cobourg Globe, and it certainly puts William, what happened in the category that he can be. We can make application for him to be recognized on the police officers memorial in Ottawa. So we'll certainly go forward now. And we also have, along with the newspaper article, we were able to obtain his death record and a number of other documentation, which certainly supports exactly what took place. And so we're absolutely confident that we now have all the information that we need. I would like to recognize some people who helped us out in this endeavor. We would say the public response to our appeal was amazing, but certainly Sierra Ward at the Cobourg Archives, she was obviously able to locate the article back from 1915 in the Cobourg World for us, which really sets out what happened back in 1915. Gord Young and Janie Carlos of Lakefield Heritage, Libby Seekings and Deborah Clark, both citizens of Northumberland County, and Mary Kennedy from Kingston, who has also helped us by sending us documents and information that they had. So show a great appreciation to them for helping us bring William Rourke's story back out again, and now hopefully we'll be able to get him properly recognized historically for what took place here in 1915. And I guess as a point of interest, Dave found out here that Constable Rourke was paid $550 a year in 1911 for his services, so that's what a constable made back then. And also, the term night watchman that is referred to, during those times, generally the chief of police was on work day shift, and they hired constables to work night shift, and such the name night watchman come in, but they're actually also constables at the time. So that's the story of Constable William Rourke, and we'll certainly take that forward now and give him his proper due for being dying on duty like he did. There's a committee that maintain the national memorial when it comes to them, and then they make the final determination. But as I said, I think with the amount of supporting documentation we have, it's certainly not there's lots there. Yeah, and the thing, everything we've seen, the death certificate was from heart attack. It's very, very unfortunate to say. Is obviously at the time when they were carrying somebody from that type of distance up there, and at the time I believe William was like 62 years old, so certainly wasn't a 21-year-old either, but certainly died in certain service of his duties. In some cases, we have some indication that he made. Well, obviously the first place we'd like to give a good thorough going through would be St. Michael's Cemetery here in Cobourg, but the weather's been such as of late we haven't had. With gravestones either being a flat or something like that, we can't see it yet. So certainly that's gonna try and locate his burial site. Oh, there's a possibility, but it's that from some of the material we got is that his sons and daughters and the ones that survived, and there's a number that moved to Rochester in New York. So, but that's always a possibility, certainly. And to say as the story becomes got out there, the people that are doing genius. I mean, I was amazed at how fast that this information came together. But luckily enough, back in 1915, Cobourg had a newspaper that those archives. We're one of not every community in the country has that. So that's what it was lucky we had that. That really helped. I mean, it was certainly nice if there's if family members make themselves known to us now, we certainly they'll have the opportunity. They can obviously participate in in September in Ottawa when his name does go on the National Police Memorial. But that'd be nice. But in any case, certainly the Cobourg Police Service will be there to recognize his sacrifice in the past for us and properly. So.